What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm very excited to bring to you guys a new series to the channel, but an old series, kind of. This is the realistic rebuild of the Indianapolis Colts. There is an obvious elephant in the room that we will get to as to why we are choosing the Colts here today on this beautiful Sunday. But ultimately, I need to break down what is going on with this series. What is a realistic rebuild, C4? Well, we're going back to my roots here just a little bit. I was an innovator. That sounds incredibly conceited and cocky to say, but the first realistic rebuild on any game started way back in Madden 17 with my realistic rebuild of the Miami Dolphins. And the reason why we started doing realistic rebuilds is I thought it would offer a different twist on a rebuild format. And now you type in realistic rebuild on YouTube, you're gonna find rebuilds that are on Madden. You're gonna find rebuilds that are on a bunch of different sports games. You see it in basketball games and baseball games, stuff like that. It's taken on a life of its own, but it all started back with Lamar Jackson going on the Miami Dolphins. And I felt like, you know, the rebuilds that we do right now, weekly, right now we're getting into like the pattern of every Saturday. They're fun and all. Like I definitely am not getting worn out, burnout, or anything like that. They have a place. That is a standard rebuild for what it is and the way that it's presented. But I want to continue to, offer something different to the channel. Try to do, something that will stand out a little bit more, something that's maybe a little bit more gratifying to those that want that slow burn. So that is what we're going to be doing here with the realistic rebuild. Now, I'm always going to be looking for feedback on this, especially because this is going to be the first go at this. So through the comments on Twitter, right now it's probably actually easiest to get me on the Discord. I'm always, when I'm rocking dumps and stuff like that, just on Discord chilling in there. So definitely after viewing this and maybe viewing the entirety of this initial Colts realistic rebuild, give me some feedback so we can make this a top-notch series. But what is going to make a realistic rebuild different from the rebuilds that you have already been getting on the channel? Well, kind of modeling after how Mr. Hurricane, top-notch content, like I said, in my opinion, Mr. Hurricane is the OG when it comes to Madden YouTubers. Instead of doing a one video 5 years rebuild like we do on every single Saturday, it's going to be 3 videos, 5 years each, so it's going to be a 15-year rebuild. My typical XP sliders are going to be nerfed 25% than what they usually are, because usually we try to get maximum development in a 5-year period. We don't make it too cheesy, not nearly as overpowered as it was in Madden 19, but our XP sliders for this are going to look a lot more similar to what they're going to look by default. Like I'll tell you right now, generally speaking, all these are at least at 130 for the rebuilds that you guys have been getting. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to go with the sliders just yet. This is very impromptu. I was going to record this series midweek, but because of said news with the Colts, I figured we'd hop in and start breaking it down. So the XP sliders are going to be like that. The settings, we're going to have injuries turned on. Injuries have always been turned off in the one video 5-year rebuild, the normal rebuilds that we've been doing, just because obviously you want to get the most maximum best case scenario success from your teams, and you don't want to do a 5-year rebuild and have, we'll just say we're doing, the Texans. We're doing a 5-year rebuild with the Texans. I don't want to have injuries on and Deshaun Watson gets hurt every year, and then you guys just sit through an hour-long video, and I'm like, oh, we didn't win because literally Deshaun Watson kept getting hurt, because we know injuries in Madden sometimes are incredibly cruel and unfair. But this is a realistic rebuild. Injuries are a very real thing, and I feel like that should be another kink that gets, thrown in, another obstacle that we're going to have to try and overcome. There's going to be no Super Bowl or bust. A big thing is in the rebuilds we do right now, if things have not looked great in year 5, we can pretty much throw caution to the wind, spend all of our salary cap to try to win in that 5th year. And well, I guess hypothetically speaking, for this series in year 14 going into year 15, we could kind of do that. But we're going to have to be a lot more conscientious about how we build this team. We have to draft as, I draft fairly well anyways, but we're going to have to put a lot more importance on drafting and team development than just being able to spend money freely. And it might be more so in dealing with contracts and in signing and extending some of our big homegrown players that we actually, like, for example, we're doing the Colts. Quentin Nelson is going to be incredibly difficult to re-sign now. And, Parris, Campbell, all these guys are going to be very, very difficult to bring in. So the fact that I feel like it's a happy medium between what, say, we're doing in the long format with the Raiders and what you currently get right now for the regular rebuild. So I'm very excited to bring back the realistic rebuilds, but maybe it's a little bit on a somber note, as we are going to be starting with the perfect team in light of yesterday's news where Andrew Luck, surprisingly, shockingly, I can't remember a time a player retiring like this out of the blue. Maybe not out of the blue because we've been following Andrew Luck's career. Maybe it's not shocking, but to me it's shocking, and to most people it's shocking. You think of like Calvin Johnson, maybe Barry Sanders. I wasn't alive, we're really watching football when Barry Sanders retired impromptu, but those guys still were like 30 at quarterbacks. It's just a different beast, man. It's a different animal. But Andrew Luck just can't recover from injuries. I don't really have a full-on take. Like, I literally just heard this news 3-4 hours ago. But I understand ultimately where he's coming from. Imagine just literally living in pain your whole life. Like, losing your love for the game is a complete possibility if you're constantly just dealing with injuries time and time again. And it's just so weird to have a guy like, I think if you're trying to bet on him, he would be fourth or fifth best odds starting from the preseason as an MVP favorite. Just say, I'm retired at 29. Like, 29 is like the peak. You're in the middle of your prime as a quarterback in the National Football League. And having Andrew Luck go, no, I'm just going to retire. I mean, it's kind of admirable. It's also shocking if you are a Colts fan. And so what we're going to do here, because Andrew Luck, by retiring, is going to forfeit all his money, we are going to start this rebuild right away by making him a punter. And we're unfortunately going to have to release him. And then we'll just clear all of our salary cap stuff so that we don't have to deal with that huge deficit. And it becomes the Jacoby Brissett show, at least for this opening video of the Realistic Rebuild. We should know by now that Jacoby Brissett, at least in the Madden world, is phenomenal. He always becomes a free agent, and it feels like 9 times out of 10, he is the replacement for Drew Brees in New Orleans, and he is challenging for an MVP award. And if you haven't watched any of these rebuilds, and it's your first time stopping by, trust me. Just trust me on that. We have done enough things to see that. I don't know if it's an algorithm. I don't know if Madden gets made in Florida. Maybe someone was a Gator fan and really loved Jacoby Brissett while he was a member of the Florida Gators before he transferred to NC State, and they just made him a god in the Madden sim. But this is what we're doing, man. This is what the Colts are doing in real life. We're going to see how it plays out. I mean, there's a lot of Colt fans that are optimistic. I mean, you look at the backups around the league, Jacoby Brissett probably has, I'd say, equal or as much upside as any of the other backups. But is he really that good? I mean, as the Florida Gator fan in me, he was not very good at Florida. He had that, the year Andrew Luck missed. He played some games. He didn't look amazing, didn't look horrible. I mean, there's upside there with Jacoby Brissett. But there's a big section of that Colts fan base like, we're just going to tank the next 2 years and be able to get Trevor Lawrence from Clemson. Or it's a good year to tank for Tua. Whatever you want to brand it as, we have some options here for the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm glad that we do have a Jacoby Brissett on this roster to try and make things work versus just having to using the Temple Project, P.J. Walker. Now he just goes by Phillip, but when he's at Temple, he went by P.J. Walker. Trust me, I watched a lot of Temple games that year because I thought I was going to go to Philly. Actually, I was in Philly, and unfortunately, there was no Temple games while I was there, but I was prepared to study up on Temple, and I was like, let's see this P.J. Walker guy, and my God, he was nothing. He was absolutely nothing. So we're going to be going with Jacoby Brissett to start off this realistic rebuild of the Indianapolis Colts. And, we've already done a rebuild of the Colts. We won them the Super Bowl. They were a franchise for the last couple years that I would have deemed a cursed franchise. I could do nothing with them. I could not win a playoff game. Andrew Luck would not play well at all. But we were able to get over that hump. And now it's just more adversity for the Colts. So, yes, we've done 2 Colts rebuilds now that we are starting this realistic rebuild of the Colts. But perfect timing. What a franchise to hop into with, fresh off the news that Andrew Luck is no longer playing professional football for now. I mean, technically in this game, I don't know how long he will stay as a punter, but if things change, who knows? But we're not really going to make up storylines and stuff like that like we do in the Raiders franchise. Another thing is that because we have started this after the Madden title update, Quentin Nelson, the offensive lineman, got their superstar X Factors or abilities. They're not X Factors, but generally should be called X Factors. But Quentin Nelson is unreal. He's simply unreal. We got Puller Elite, nasty streak. Definitely is going to help out just a bit. T.Y. Hilton was really good. I'm trying to remember. We did this Colts rebuild. It was like our second or third rebuild of the Madden 20 cycle. I'm trying to remember who was really good. I remember Funchess developed really, really nicely for us, played well in the sim. We got Parris Campbell up to a superstar X Factor. Naheem Hines, when I was actually playing the games, was unguardable. Literally would make everyone miss out of the backfield. So that's dope. On the defensive side, I don't really remember much, to be honest with you, off the top of my head. I feel like we moved Quincy Wilson to safety, and we were able to develop Walker and Okereke at linebacker along with Darius Leonard. I feel like that's what happened. I know there's probably some people right now screaming in the comments like they remember it, because probably if you're a diehard Colts fan, you enjoy my content, you probably remember exactly what happened. I think that's what happened. So, and generally speaking as well, now that we have Andrew Luck's contract off the books, the Colts already came into this with a whole lot of salaries base. You got, what, 20-some million, almost $30 million freed up from Andrew Luck. So we are going to be able to help develop this team. But it's not, the 5-year rebuild. We can't think short term. A lot of that money, we're probably going to have to try and reinvest into this team. You're going to need a new contract for Hines, for Quentin Nelson, for Kelly, probably Braden Smith. Eric Ebron needs to get paid. Parris Campbell's got to get paid down the line. We have to now open up our scope, not just from 5 years, but for a full 15 years. So that is the opener. That is the hard opener, not a soft opener. We're not doing a 2-minute. I don't know how long this was, but I had to get the spiel out for what you're going to be getting in this series. And, it felt like we almost brushed over the fact that Andrew Luck retired from the National Football League. That is insanity. I don't think that in sports has there been a retirement this shocking for a guy that's at the top of his game, a guy that's, a legitimate MVP candidate. Of course, the Patriots find a way to win, right? The Patriots, oh my God, is Brady going to... No, Andrew Luck, first of all, Andrew Luck retires before Tom Brady. Second of all, the Patriots, who have had a cupcake AFC for the last decade, now that the other teams are starting to get better, we're like, oh man, you got Patty Mahomes in Kansas City. Maybe the Colts with Frank Reich, who just recently won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe, just maybe, the Colts are going to be that next big contender that can knock out the Patriots. Just as they start to look like that roster, Andrew Luck goes on to retire, and the Patriots find a way to win. Anyways, let's get into year one of the realistic rebuild of the Indianapolis Colts after the retirement of Andrew Luck. So a little bit of a good news for this Colts team, who have been obviously no real good news when your preseason starts off with your franchise quarterback, MVP contender retiring, but we are able to trigger the wide receiver mentorship scenario, and that is T.Y. Hilton wanting to take Parris Campbell under his wing, which is going to be huge for us. We definitely want Parris Campbell to work on getting open, because right now, coming out of Ohio State, he's pretty much your home run hitter. I'd like to maybe work on mid routes, because he pretty much just runs slants and streaks. And if he can run something a little bit more intricate, we'll definitely help him out with his development. So appreciate you, T.Y., for helping Parris Campbell and his release. As we actually get into year one, let's do a deep dive quickly about what our actual roster looks like. I know it could be still kind of fresh because a little less than a month ago we did a rebuild of the Colts. But now, yes, we're going Jacoby Brissett as our man. He is in a contract year, which is a little bit annoying because if he plays well, he's going to ask for a lot more money than when Andrew Luck was the quarterback, and he was still a backup. I feel like that's going to have some weighing effect as he sets to hit the market, but we will probably, unless he's horrendous, resign him. Look at resigning him. Hopefully it's not like a 5-6 year deal, something maybe modest, like a 2-3 year deal. I have no idea. Looking at the running backs, we got Marlon Mack and Naheem Hines, a great tandem. They also got Deontay Foreman, who got released by the Houston Texans. This guy had a lot of promise coming into Texas. He is banged up right now, but we have a very healthy backfield. I like all these running backs, and with injuries turned on, you can never have enough depth at the running back spot, because for whatever reason, they just seem like they're a magnet for injuries. I mean, in real life, obviously they take quite a beating, but it feels like particularly in Madden 20, running backs get banged up more often than not, more frequently for sure than other positions. At wide receiver, we got T.Y. Hilton. He's 29. He's still playing at a very high level, and I'd like the added bonus that he was able to take Parris Campbell, the electrifying second-round pick out of Ohio State, under his wing, and help out with his development. We have Chester Rogers, solid slot wide receiver. Funches coming in on a 1-year deal from the Carolina Panthers. Originally, I thought this was a very head-scratching move from the Indianapolis Colts, because I kind of think Funches is a little bit overrated, and you saw, if you watch the All or Nothing about the Panthers, kind of a like a diva type guy. But I remember in the rebuild with the Colts we did last time, Funches was a monster. He absolutely went off. We got some solid depth here. Again, depth needs to be quite paramount as you try to look and build your roster with injuries turned on. So, I mean, I like Deion Kane was a very highly touted wide receiver coming to Clemson. Don't know why. It was just a bunch of things compounded. Wasn't as good of an athlete as some people thought. But he was like at one point 2 years ago, he was considered a top 5 wide receiver in the class, and we got some good speed, some nice playmakers here. At tight end, we have Ebron and Doyle. Doyle will usually line up as our fullback because usually when you're simming, you don't have to utilize 2 tight ends. But either way, Very healthy, maybe the best 1-2 punch at tight end in the league. Offensive line, we got Costanzo as a starter. There's not a lot of depth here with the Colts, but their starters are very good. Costanzo is a solid left tackle. At left guard, you pretty much have the best young guard in the National Football League in Quentin Nelson. He's also a superstar. Ryan Kelly, very nice, solid center. We have Glowinski, more so a depth guy. There always has to kind of be a weak link. His contract doesn't look great for him being easily the worst starter on our offensive line. Then you got Braden Smith, tremendous value, and I like that he was able to catch on with the Colts because when we're doing like all of our draft talk for 2 years ago, I was super high on Braden Smith. He was pretty much classified as a guard. I was like, man, move him to tackle. He's going to be a stud. They moved him to tackle. He was very good as a rookie, and hopefully he can build upon that as a sophomore. On the defensive side, we have a good mix of veterans and youth. Jabal Sheard, 82 overall, very solid. You got Ben Banagou at a TCU, great athlete, a nice guy to have there and develop. And by the time he's ready to take over the reins, it'll be time to move on from Jabal Sheard. Justin Houston, the veteran coming over from the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he's going to be kind of rejuvenated playing in a 4-3, coming from the 3-4 that he played with in KC. You got Toure at defensive end. Again, same inverse. We have the veteran, and by the time that this guy's, Justin Houston starts to regress, we need to think about moving on from his big contract. Toure should be able to step up and take over for that role. D tackle, we have Autry, who's solid, had a breakout year last year. IRL. Hunt is solid depth. We have Tyquan Lewis. I'm actually probably going to rock and roll with Tyquan Lewis and Autry as our D tackle, and Hunt will be that rotational guy. Linebacker core, you have the Maniac, Darius Leonard. I think we kept calling him the Freak in the first rebuild, but I'm pretty sure his nickname is the Maniac. I should know that because he's my adopted son. If you even pay attention to my Twitter, he's a beast. He should have a full opportunity to develop to a 99 in a 15-year rebuild. Anthony Walker Jr. and Bobby Okereke, solid linebackers. We'll definitely try and grow and develop them. I'm actually gonna have Bobby Okereke here play as a right outside linebacker. I think that is the best way to maximize his ability. Great coverage ability, great athlete. You see with that 86 speed, 80 acceleration, and he actually gets a little bit of an uptick in his base overall to a 69 when we slide him to right outside linebacker. That has a lot of depth here. And I actually think what I am going to do at this point, we'll take the slowest. We'll take Sky Moore, solid linebacker to South Carolina, and we'll move him and make up some middle linebacker depth for the team, which there you go. It's an upgrade over Ahmad Thomas. In the secondary, we got Pierre Desir, solid corner, 28-82. We got Kenny Moore, one of the best slots in the league. Quincy Wilson, Gator Made. Rock Yassin, talented rookie out of Temple. Got two Temple tough guys here, Nate Hairston as well. Marvell Tell is now classified as a corner. He's a safety. He's a DB hybrid anyways, but I like that versatility. Jalen Collins was a real up-and-coming corner a couple years ago with the Falcons. Had some off-the-field issues. Maybe we could salvage his career. Who knows if we have to get pressed with injuries. Free safety Malik Hooker, one of the best young safeties in the league. Strong safety, we have some depth here between Willis out of Michigan State, Farley, and Gaithers. Gaithers will obviously be our starter for the time being, 27-79, as well as a team captain. Vinatieri, the ageless wonder, and Sanchez make up a solid special teams unit. As there, we've done the preview. Now let's get into year one of the Colts rebuild. So the midway point of year one, we're 5-2. That is honestly a tremendous record, all things considered, with no Andrew Luck and Jacoby Brissett at the helm. Knowing that Brissett's about to be a free agent, looking at his stats there, 1,800 yards, 14 touchdowns. QBR is fine. That's not bad. We'll have to see what his contract is. I mean, that's enough to give me hope that he could be our guy going forward, I guess. I mean, what's he have for rushing yards? He is a little bit of a scrambler. Also 100 yards there, touchdown. I mean, they have fixed scrambling quarterbacks a little bit. I wouldn't call Jacoby Brissett an outright scrambler, but he can move in and out of the pocket. We have a weekly award winner, too, after a massive victory over the Denver Broncos. Naheem Hines, our third down back, 6 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown, as well as 6 receptions for 84 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. That is unreal. Those are unreal numbers for a running back, too. Looking at contracts, let's see. Gotta be conscientious. Look, I gotta get back into this. Is my first realistic rebuild. I gotta figure out who's worth what now for these contracts. First up, we get Eric Ebron off the rip. He's definitely good enough for a brand new contract. He wants more money. I mean, he isn't one of those familiar faces. Much like Jacoby Brissett, when you're in your other franchises, usually we'll see Eric Ebron and Brissett both hit the market. As you can see why. Doyle, we got to move on from him. We just can't have that much money locked into the tight end position. We'll see if we can get Costanzo here on a 2-year deal. We don't have any depth tackle whatsoever, so it's pretty much paramount that we hold on to him until we can draft a suitable replacement. We have a replacement for Sheard. It could be either Toure or Banagou. Funchess, I know he develops and plays very well in this. So in real life, I don't know if I'd give Devin Funchess a deal, especially a 3-year deal. But for the sake of Madden and kind of cheating a little bit, we know how good he can get. We will try our best to re-sign him unless he doesn't cost a whole lot. At strong safety, we have Gaithers, 3-year, 14 mil. We'll wait and see on that. Jacoby Brissett only wants $12 million over 3 years. Hell yeah. Even if we just have to bump that up a little bit, we are not gonna have to get locked into something dumb like a $20-some million plus deal. Which, I mean, he could trigger that in real life. We got some depth guys there. So for the time being, we'll come back for Jacoby Brissett. We'll come back for Devin Funchess. And definitely come back and looking at Eric Ebron to solidify our offense going forward for the next couple years. And at the completion of year 1, that is the exact thing you want to see in your things to do. Absolutely nothing to do, which means you have secured a first round bye, which we have at 11-5. Again, it all goes back to the very beginning, the sad story of Andrew Luck having to retire because of all the injuries. But then the silver lining, knowing that for whatever reason, Jacoby Brissett is an absolute animal when it comes to Madden 20 and clearly getting the job done. We're an 80 overall team, 87 offense, 79 defense. That's pretty good to get to 11-5 with that type of a base roster. So let's look at Jacoby Brissett. He fit it. That's good numbers for a quarterback that we were able to pick up and re-sign for what? 14 mil? I think we offered 12. We didn't want. I think we finished up 3-year, $14 million. And we got 3,700 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks. He needs to fire his agent right away. We are taking that deal every damn day. 71% completion percentage. It's good. Life's good with Jacoby Brissett at the helm. We got almost 800 yards, 4 touchdowns from Marlon Mack, 506 from Nyheim Hines. Brissett also chipped in 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground. T.Y. Hilton just shy of 1,000 receiving yards, 86 catches. Now 995 at 7. We got 750 and 6 from Ebron, 706 from Parris Campbell, 605 from Devin Funchess, 370. We'll round that up because 69. We'll just say it because 69 is fun to say. 369 and 3 from Nyheim Hines. On the defensive side, what do we got here? We got 88 tackles from Desir. I don't like the fact that our corners lead the team in tackles, but it is what it is. 13.5 sacks, 13 TFLs from Justin Houston, rejuvenated. Now in a 4-3 scheme. 6 sacks Sheard, 5 sacks the maniac Darius Leonard. Good production there. Picks could have been better. I mean, that's a good amount to have. I just didn't really see a breakout season. Yearly awards MVP went to Marcus Mariota of the Tennessee Titans. We had no one. Coach of the year, Dan Quinn. Frank Reich coming in number 3. Come on! He got number 1 seed with a backup quarterback. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Mariota got that award. Oh, there we go. There we go. Jacoby Brissett coming in at number 10. We'll take that. Defensive Player of the Year went to Von Miller. We had no one. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Hollywood Brown. Parris Campbell, the runner-up at number 2. That kind of sucks because then he won't get a better dev trait. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Devin Bush. And Okereke coming in at number 9, making that change from middle to outside linebacker. Off his snaps, paid a little bit of dividends as he made the short list of the best young defensive players in the AFC. So finding out who we're taking on in the divisional round here in the AFC. An improbable run for Jacoby Brissett. And right away, we get to find out who the true top dog is in the AFC South, as it is the 11-5 Colts, the 10-6 Jags in Lucas Oil Stadium. So we know Jacoby Brissett's OP when it comes to just the base sim. How does he fare with the super sim? I have no idea. I actually don't think he's that good. If I had to be off the top of the cuff here, I feel like when we take on a Jacoby Brissett Saints team, they're not like dominant or anything crazy like that. They don't get that Chargers super sim OP cheese, but we're doing okay. It's a battle, 7-6, low scoring. Best defense is gonna win this game. Looked like a turnover there from Brissett. Annoying. But we're still in it. We're only down 8, down 1 score. Oh, now it's over. Oh, now it could be over. Let's not doubt Jacoby Brissett here. They turned the ball over. We get a quick touchdown just like that. 5 points. It's all it's going to take for us to get back in this game. If our defense can get a stand, which they can't, looks like another turnover. This game is getting very one-sided. We're still kind of staying in it. We score in the red zone. We're down 5. Do we get the onside kick? Obviously, we do not. Third down. We got a chance. We're coming in. It's the realistic rebuilds. We're making it different than the regular rebuilds. I am not a monster at this game by any means. Not like Madden 19 on offense where I came in when I you know I was coming in on the sticks. We're going to come back and win the game. We're going to do something special. I'm not quite at that level. And then phenomenal. Phenomenal. I can't believe that shit. Well, that was a rude awakening. If we had to lose anyone, I guess we had to, Nick Foles. I guess. Where's our running attack? 4 carries, 10 yards. Garbage. Garbage. For a free agent period that has some very big names, Tyreek Hill doesn't really fit the culture. It's a realistic. I'm trying to make moves that I think Grigson would make for the Colts, and they're trying to change the culture there. I don't think they'd get any risque players, so that pretty much eliminates the first 2 guys here, and Hill and Kareem Hunt. Even though Tyreek Hill would be awesome, just having that speed with Parris Campbell. We don't need a tight end, and the next 2 top guys were tight ends. We're trying, we're going low key here, at least for this first one. We have a lot of money. We want to, make sure we don't overspend on unnecessary players so that when it comes time to sign our own, we have available cash. So we're just looking for 2 depth offensive linemen. Garnett, the former first-round pick out of Stanford. Haig, bringing him back on a cheaper deal to back up Braden Smith. And looking to bring in Philadelphia Eagle kicker Jake Elliott, a man Frank Reich is very familiar with, has huge can of a leg. We're going to give him kind of a little bit of a low ball offer here, but ultimately not going to be big-time spenders in year 1 free agency. All right, for the drafts, I feel like we should always just at least capture the first-round pick drama. The clock is going. We need to figure out where we want to go. Knowing the weakness of this team right off the bat, a guard would be nice. We could always use a wide receiver. On the defensive side, maybe another younger D tackle, middle linebacker. You can never go wrong adding another corner. But as expected, there still was 2 QBs available if Brissett wasn't our option. We're taking far too much of our time here. So Henry Ruggs jumps off the board immediately. He's not a huge scheme threat, but he's a great playmaker from Alabama. If we want to bring in another wide receiver, we're going to tight end. When you look at guard, you got Lemieux, Leatherwood, Donaldson, Cleveland are all still available. Pretty much all of our top guards are still available. We could probably get them and address that spot with our second pick. So we move to defense. At defensive end, you got Jalen Phillips, the UCLA transfer, went to the U. Maybe he can still be there in later rounds. I'm interested. There's no big name defensive end, though, that we could really bring in at this point. We missed out on the top options at D tackle, even though Kinlaw, high upside guy, that's a huge frame, 6'6", 304. He is a scheme fit. I hope we can get maybe one of him or Merritt Wilson. Look at them on the back swing in the second round because they are pretty good. I more so want to address that linebacker spot. Again, no real first round quality. Kenneth Murray, tackle machine from Oklahoma. We might be able to come back to him a little bit later. That's just the draft board is not being super favorable to us, fellas. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think Henry Ruggs is the move right now. Really talented wide receiver. I feel like that's, considering everything else that position needs is in later rounds. Let's do it. Let's grab, why not? Why not? Let's get Henry Ruggs, the deep threat from Alabama. He comes out 73 hidden dev trait, 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 78 catching. We saw Tyreek Hill as an available free agent. We decided not to jump on it. Henry Ruggs, kind of similar. Obviously doesn't have that freaky Tyreek Hill speed, but a guy that similarly built maybe to like a T.Y. Hilton type guy. T.Y.'s getting a little bit older, and ultimately long-term, lots of speed between Ruggs and Parris Campbell to pair that with the big body of Ebron at tight end, and you got Funches at wide receiver. That's a healthy wide receiver, just general receiving room for the Colts going forward. Draft recap time. How did we do after the Henry Ruggs selection, which turned out very well? We followed up in the second round, getting pretty much our pick at who we wanted at guard. So we got Ben Bredesen from Michigan. Turns out to be 71 with a hidden dev trait. So that is awesome. That is well on our way to get not only a Mark Lewinsky, who has kind of an ugly contract replacement, but just to really solidify this offensive line going forward. This is going to be a position across the line that we are going to want to invest a lot of our salary cap into. Obviously with Braden Smith, probably going to get a big contract, much like Quentin Nelson. So we got, throwing a guy like Bredesen, got to be a big part of this going forward. We got Kenneth Murray, another one of our primary targets. Wasn't as hot, 66 normal, but he is a scheme fit, and we'll be interested to see how he performs in the preseason. Could be able to carve out a role. We got Jacob Eason, the former 5-star recruit for Georgia, transferred to Washington to come in to be our backup. 63 also has a hidden dev trait, so there could be something there. Get him some early snaps. 91 throw power does look pretty good, but just in case, nice little insurance policy in case Jacoby Brissett doesn't pan out. Hey, we didn't pay a whole lot of money for Jacoby Brissett, so that was awesome. 4th round, we got Yasir Durant from Mizzou. Pretty sure he was like an all SEC offensive lineman. 66 overall. That is awesome. That is a great overall to be getting for depth. We got a 59 tackle Nyang from TCU. We got Brady Ross at fullback from Iowa. He's a 62. And then pretty much just filling out the depth chart in the 7th round with Brian Chaffin from Stanford. Scheme fit 55 though. Kind of a stinky overall. Year 2 kicks off. We get to take on the Jags again. That's bringing up awesome memories. The team is looking better. We'll just look at it this way because you can see the beautiful colors. Jacoby Brissett entering his 2nd year. Well, I guess maybe 3rd year as a starter for the Colts if you count that, the year that Andrew Luck missed with a shoulder injury. 74 overall, but he played much better than a 74 overall, so hopefully he can develop. We got Mack and Hines return as our backfield. Hilton, Campbell, who has earned up to a star dev trait, which is dope because he starts as a normal. He had a scenario pop up last season. We got Funches, we got Ruggs, I like our wide receiver core, and we also got throwing Chester Rogers. We got lots of depth. Sanzo Nelson, Kelly, Bredson, and Smith make up a very good offensive line, and in my biased opinion, maybe the best offensive line in the AFC. We're able to re-sign Eric Ebron. I'm expecting a big season from him. On the defensive side of the ball, we have, familiar faces. Houston had a huge year last year. Toure gets to be promoted as starter, taking over for Jabal Sheard. We had a little bit of regression here from Pierre Desir. Kenny Moore is solid. We have Wilson, who actually, look at that. He's a 76 corner, but actually projects to be a 77 strong safety, which is annoying because we just re-signed Clayton Gaithers, but something to think about for the future. Other than that, Okereke got a star dev. He also had a scenario pop up. Him and Parris Campbell were the 2 players to bump up in a dev trait last season. We don't have any X factors, so it'll be nice if we can get a Darius Leonard X factor, or T.Y.'s kind of at the end of his career right now. So if we can get a Darius Leonard, if we can get a Maniac X factor, that would be very much welcome to help with this defense. But generally speaking, I'm hoping that this team can make the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. Week 4 of year 2. Didn't really want to show you this in any particular reason. Oh, besides the fact that we dominated the Bears, one of the top defenses in the game. And I looked at the weekly awards, and then there's just old 75 overall Jacoby Brissett go for 236, 5 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. 6 tutties against probably the highest overall defense in the league. We'll just ignore what Julio Jones did. That is also terrifying. But hey, Brissett, he's money. Coming out from the bye, we have our contracts to discuss. Oh, man. See, this is the difference. If this was just the regular 5-year rebuild only, I'd be paying hand over fist for the veterans, Hilton and Houston. I have no idea, especially when it comes to Madden 20. Are the veterans worth it or not? We'll go with the safe negotiation right at the bat. We want Ryan Kelly to anchor this offensive line. We'll come back to the table with him. Malik Hooker is captain, team captain, great safety. We'll get him locked in. I want Quincy Wilson because I feel like if we can eventually get him locked down and then maybe convert into safety later on, that's going to be beneficial. Outry, 1 year. He has the depth trait, but he's not really growing much. You know what I'm saying? So we have Marlon Mack. I want to see how Marlon Mack plays. Naheem Hines is a beast. I know Naheem Hines is a beast. I don't know where the real value is in having 2 big running backs. I know we do have injuries turned on, which is the truth, but I don't know, man. I feel like Naheem Hines could be our starter. I don't think you need 2 stars like that. They're not really complementing each other because they're both very high-level type players. So you're more so hindering the development of both of them by giving them split carries versus just giving one the outright duty. So I feel like what we're going to do is we'll make Naheem Hines the starter. We'll let Marlon Mack be we'll figure it out. We'll wait to the end of the season for pretty much all these other negotiations. They can sit and wait. The end of year 2, getting bounced from the playoffs. So week 17, I feel like everything was kind of on the line there. We lost to the Green Bay Packers by 1 point, falling to 9-7. Would it have mattered? Let's get a quick, first team. 9 wins would have. Okay, first team out always stings. Jacoby Brissett is a god. 4,100 yards, 40 touchdowns, 10 picks. He is a sim god. We already knew this. You already knew this, but it's confirmation. Running the ball, Marlon Mack did not deserve a new contract. Was not playing particularly well, even though he averaged more yards per carry. Naheem Hines, I think, can be our top dog probably. T.Y. Hilton, ageless wonder. I feel like there's something in the sim that gets these old guys in contract years. Like, I guarantee we didn't sign or at least offer a new contract to T.Y. Hilton or what do you call it yet on the defensive side. And I guarantee they're going to career. 17 touchdowns for T.Y. Hilton. Ridiculous. Funchess was good. Ebron was fine. Campbell was fine. Hines was pretty dynamic. Definitely need to get Ruggs a little bit more touches. But Justin Houston, I guarantee he had ridiculous numbers. Didn't even offer him a new deal. These veterans, me not extending them. It's kind of coming back to bite me in the ass. Darius Leonard had a great year. 11 TFLs, 7 sacks. 3 picks. Kenny Moore. Interceptions are up just a little bit, which is cool. Yearly awards MVP went to Trubisky. Come on. With Jacoby Brissett coming in at number 6 for the MVP voting. AFC Offensive Player went to Josh Allen. Jacoby Brissett coming in at number 3. Defensive Player went to Vontaze Burfict. We had no one. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Cole McDonald of the Titans. Cole McDonald had a farm. I literally just watched right now while I'm recording this. I had the Hawaii-Arizona game. My God. I think Cole McDonald 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. It's ridiculous. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Troy Dye. And man, we had no one. None of our rookies balled out. Interesting. But I guess what happens when you don't give Henry Ruggs any touches. So we got an interesting dilemma on our hands. 2 veterans, both had outstanding seasons that we have to decide if we want to re-sign them or not. We have all right salary cap scenario. We could bring them on and then just take the hit later on when they regress. I don't know. Of course, we look at this. T.Y. Hilton has actually bumped up to a superstar X factor. I feel like we gotta resign T.Y. If I had to pick between T.Y. Hilton and Justin Houston, it'd probably be T.Y. Hilton. Jacoby Brissett is up to a superstar. It only took him 40 touchdowns to get set ability. But we got inside Deadeye and conductor. I don't think we had any other dev traits trigger. Unfortunately not. But yeah, I think we'll offer a new contract to maybe both of them. We'll see. Okay, I'm just gonna straight up offer them. We'll do the old school 2. You had him +2. See if you can resign. So Justin Houston, go F yourself. TY +2. We'll give you a nice round 5. 3-year, $47 million. You're 30 years old. Oh, kiss my ass then. Oh, kiss my ass. Free agency, nothing too crazy for us. We got Hilton. He burnt that bridge. He absolutely burnt that bridge. There's some nice options in here. Maybe I was potentially thinking about Fournette, but if we're not going to bring back Marlon Mack, might as well just rock and roll with Naheem Hines. So we're going to think outside the box. We got Hassan Reddick. There was no bids on him, so we're not going to overpay. I like Kenneth Murray. The reason why we use a second-round pick on him. I think we can develop him. Hassan Reddick, on the other hand, played defensive end at Temple. We now need a defensive end to come in and replace Justin Houston because Ben Bandig is only 72 overall. I don't know what the regression. We know Hassan Reddick from the Raiders rebuild can develop as his defensive end, so we'll see if we can kind of slide under the radar here, bring him in and convert him to a D end and get tremendous value. Well, guess not. We had our draft, and I was recording this at like 3 in the morning last night, so I forgot that we're trying to do a whole thing where we preview at least the first pick, so my bad. In the first round, we selected Phidarian Mathis, D tackle from Alabama, 70 overall, hidden dev trait. That is big, and he's going to be a kind of guy that can actually play immediately as a rookie, along with Tyquan Lewis. 92 strength. Great compliment to Tyquan Lewis, too, because Tyquan Lewis, a little bit of an undersized D tackle, so Mathis will be the run stuff. It's a healthy rotation. Second round, we got Bray Walker at left tackle. I was kind of hoping we could draft Costanzo's eventual replacement. Wasn't a strong draft class for tackles, at least in the second round. If we needed a tackle, we would have had to get one in the first. But I mean, hey, it's all right. 63. It's not a horrible pick. It's not a great pick. Fourth round, we got Puka Williams, a man that was electrifying at Kansas, has some off the field issues. That's why he slipped to the fourth round. It wasn't taken as, really a top 5 running back in the class. He's a 68 overall with a hidden dev trait. He's going to be RB2 as we kind of have moved on from Marlon Mack. So it's going to be a Puka Williams and Naheem Hines backfield. Well, look at that, man. 94 acceleration, 92 speed. He's a home run hitter. He's a home run hitter. And while he's not gigantic, maybe not the best complement to Naheem Hines, he's going to be a playmaker for us. Fifth round, we got Josh Rossman, a linebacker from Michigan, 62. Tahadra Mitchell from Ohio State, he's a 60. So, anytime we get over a 60, like that is the minimum. And then the seventh round, I actually tried to trade this pick, and there wasn't any good ones. So we only had 4 corners on the roster. So we got Kyler McMichael from Clemson. Pretty much the closest guy that was a scheme fit that was still draftable. He's going to be, just roster fodder for the time being. So let's get into year 3 of the rebuild. Year 3 is beginning, and this team is starting to take shape, more so because Jacoby Brissett is a superstar dev trait player, so I really think we're going to see a boom in his development. Definitely will get into the 80s overall at minimum. The backfield has changed. No more Marlon Mack. It's going to be a Naheem Hines and Puka Williams backfield. No more T.Y. Hilton, as he pretty much told us to go pound sand. So Funchess will be our lead wide receiver. We're going to be rocking and rolling with some of the younger guys. Parris Campbell, Henry Ruggs III, Chester Rogers, Deion Kane. We got Trent Sherfield. We got depth. We got depth on depth on depth. So knock on wood, we don't get any injuries. But if we do, we are pretty loaded at wide receiver. Offensive line looking real nice. Bredeson's getting ready to take that next big step in his development. He should be an 80 overall very, very soon. Quentin Nelson, 91 overall, one of the best guards. The only thing on the offensive line that's kind of annoying is Costanzo is on the downswing of his career. He's regressed like 4 points, and we don't really have an immediate replacement. So kind of sucks, but that's still a couple of years, maybe a year or two down the road. Defensively, pretty much remains the same. Banagoo, because we have no more Justin Houston. Banagoo and Kamoko Toure are going to have to pan out. We're going to go Fedarian Mathis and Tyquan Lewis inside. So it's a young defensive line that hopefully we can grow. And it'd be awesome if when these guys' contracts come up, they're not going to be ridiculous expenses, so we can keep them for the entirety of the rebuild. Murray's going to be our starting middle linebacker along with Darius Leonard and Bobby Okereke. We're actually going to have Quincy Wilson, who we converted from corner to safety. He will actually get the start because Gaithers is a guy we might be able to cut this offseason, free up some cash. Hooker's 85 overall. He's developing very nice, as is Kenny Moore. Desir's regressing a little bit. It's about time, actually, that, I'm going to take a bold claim here. I'm going to make Rocky Sin the outside corner. We have Desir there. We also got a very nice bargain in free agency. Holton Hill was just chilling there, like day 3 of free agency. No, he had some off-the-field issues. That's why he slipped and went undrafted to the Vikings from the University of Texas. We gave him like a 4-year deal worth like $7 million. He's 24, 79. Even though he's not really a scheme fit, he's a guy that's good to have on the roster, and we're going to slowly try to develop him into said scheme fit. But I'm very optimistic with this team that we can make the playoffs and definitely have big leaps and bounds in the growth of Jacoby Brissett this season. Well, we're terrible. Year 3, sitting at the midway point, bottom dwellers in the AFC South. Not exactly sure what's going on. Is it Brissett? He's top 10 quarterback in most of the stats, so it's elsewhere on the team. Defense maybe not slowly starting to come along, but we got some contracts here. The reason why we've been very, very, we'll say conscientious when it comes to signing free agents, because we know that this year was coming where we're going to have to sign at least 5 guys to biggest deals. First off, that is ridiculous for Quentin Nelson, only $40 million, but I will take that for the best guard in the National Football League. We have Darius Leonard, definitely want to get him locked up. That is a huge deal. 5 years, 93. We can make moves like this, though, because Jacoby Brissett is on a very affordable deal. Braden Smith, I mean, he could be a guy that we eventually move to left tackle, even though in Madden, I don't think there's much of a difference between a left and a right tackle. Costanzo, we still don't really have his replacement, but he is going to regress to like 78, 79. So we probably have a better chance waiting to see who's available on the open market. Naheem Hines, he's nice, even though I don't necessarily think he's doing the greatest this year. I just know that once we hop in and get some gameplay, he is so overpowered. Kamoko Toure, that's not bad. 2-year, $15 million. Get him locked up. Desir could probably move on. Tyquan Lewis wants a 1-year, $4 million deal. Sure, we'll come back with him. I think him and Fedarian Mathis can make a nice D-tackle pairing. Beyond that, I mean, this is some of our depth players. I do want to, man, these wide receivers, these average wide receivers want a lot of money, and I know I could probably bring them back. Especially Deion Kane, because I liked him at Clemson. I probably could let him hit the open market and bring him back on like a 3-year deal worth like $4 million. So we'll let him hit the market. We'll come back and try to hammer out a deal for. Do we get everyone? Oh, Tyquan Lewis. We'll try to come back for Tyquan Lewis. Other than that, we've been very conscientious of our cap. That's what we have to do in a realistic rebuild, and make sure you keep the guys that are great and kind of sift through the weeds and let guys that are at the downswing of their career. You got to cut ties. You got to know when to cut ties, and that's what we're learning here in the first realistic rebuild on the channel for Madden 20. So year 3 was just a complete wash. We saw at the mid-season point we were just in all disarray. We finished out strong, not to be bottom dwellers and beat the Jags, so suck it. Jacoby Brissett was great. 3rd in passing yards, 4th in touchdowns. It's ridiculous how well he is. But then again, truth be told, when we did the other rebuild of the Colts, Andrew Luck played very well, so we'll just chalk it up to Frank Reich. Frank Reich is a QB guru. Run the ball, Naheem Hines, definitely a little bit of a down tick there. The fact that, just wasn't really the balance. 2.9 yards per carry is not that great. Definitely want to try to sort that out. Parris Campbell, massive season. definitely filling in the shoes of T.Y. Hilton. 90 catches, 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. That is huge. Almost 1,000 yards for Funches, 5 touchdowns, 837 and 8 from Ebron, 638 and 2 from Ruggs. Hines was still dynamic on the back. Look at that. Pico. I mean, you add all the touchdowns, the productivity between Hines and Puka. It's okay. It's fine. It wasn't like it was terrible. It's, it's just we didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher. It looks bad on paper. Quincy Wilson looks like he made a great transition to strong safety from corner. 112 tackles, 10 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, 17 sacks from the freak Darius Leonard. That's awesome. 4 sacks, Tyquan Lewis. 4 picks, Kenny Moore. 3, Rocky Sin. Holton Hill, proven to be a great bargain off the waiver wire here. 84 tackles, 3 TFLs, 2 picks. I think he was our starting nickel. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP went to Baker Mayfield. Jacoby Brissett coming in at number 5. That's all right, given how down of a year it was. Brissett number 4 in AFC Offensive Player of the Year voting. Defensive Player of the Year went to Devin Bush, with Darius Leonard coming in at number 3. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to JT Daniels. There's Trevor Lawrence. Puka Williams coming in at number 4. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Patrick Surtain Jr. to the Raiders. Fedarian Mathis coming in at number 5. So we had some great individual success. The team success wasn't quite there. But, it's a 15-year rebuild. We don't have to be thinking short-sighted. Like, we have to get this all done in 5 years. So let's move on to the offseason and get into year number 4. Oh, boys, let's go. We got Parris Campbell up to a superstar. That's dope. I mean, you get 16 touchdowns. You definitely should get a superstar. Jacoby Brissett up to a superstar X Factor. In year 3, we're already at this. I don't know how he got this. He was good, but I will take it. I've had far better quarterbacks not get an X Factor, but I'm not going to complain. And on the defensive side, look at this. We got Darius Leonard, the maniac. I mean, he completely deserved it. Because, look, sacks leader, linebacker of the year. We got that superstar X Factor run stuffer. That is awesome. Really, if we can get one of Toure, Lewis, and Banagoo to get one of these guys start developing into at least a star, this is a tremendous defense. So for free agency, first up, we got Connor Williams. You see him as a left guard. And I'm worried that maybe he'll just, I don't know what the algorithm is for free agency. He's not going to want to come. But I want to move him to tackle. He was a really good tackle at the University of Texas. I love him to come in and be our left tackle to replace Costanzo. So we're coming in with a fairly good bid, a 4-point bid. Let's actually just try to up it here just a little bit, because I really don't want to have to deal with, we'll round it up. We'll go 7 and 2.5. That'll be our best bid. That's as good as we can go, because I just don't really feel like having to develop another tackle. Then we got Blake Cashman, the middle linebacker. Kenneth Murray's just not really developing too much. I think he's solid depth, but Cashman is an unreal middle linebacker. When you look at his stats, 90 speed, 88 tackle, good acceleration, good pursuit, good zone coverage. I think he could be a guy that really takes off in our scheme. So we're coming in with a fairly big offer. It'll be huge if we can get both these guys in free agency. Let's go. Let's go. Both Connor Williams and Blake Cashman want to buy into what Frank Reich is doing here in Indy. Coming to our pick here. We're good now. We're back to the format. Where we really need to get good, I think we could use a defensive end. We need another defensive end. I feel like, for whatever reason, Ben Banagoo is not going to develop amazingly. I feel like he's just always going to be just a solid depth guy. So let's see what we got here for first-round defense. We got Zach Harrison from Ohio State, 5-star recruit. Right defensive end, you got Justin Foster from Clemson. What are the stats looking like? Who is closer to what we want? Speed rusher is what we're looking at here. So, he's quick, 3rd there in defensive end. Harrison's a power rusher, not a great scheme fit, but he's in Ohio State. He looks like such the better prospect. He's already outside linebackers that we can convert. So we got Marcel Brooks from LSU. He's not really a defensive end. Oh, God. Corners, who we got at corners? Chris Steele, Akeem. No, we gotta go him. We gotta go Zach Harrison. Zach Harrison, Ohio State, is gonna be selected at pick 15 for the Indianapolis Colts, and he comes out as a 73 with a hidden depth trait. So that's as good of a pick as you could get. Fairly solid across the board. I'm a little bit worried that that's not actually bad for a speed rusher. He's only 3 points off of a scheme fit. That's a good pick. That's a good first pick. Great start to the draft for the Colts. So a full recap for our draft as we get ready for year 4. We got Zach Harrison, the best pick for us. I mean, maybe the best value pick in the entire draft. He's going to have an opportunity to maybe start at defensive end. Second round, we get Ishmael Sofsher from Alabama, 66. Another hidden dev trait player, so that is awesome. Third round, back-to-back, one of these Brian Grigston phenomenal drafts. We got Israel Mukamu from South Carolina, 66 scheme fit and a hidden dev trait. which is huge. The athletic ability doesn't really jump off the page, but I'll take a guy like that we could develop. Will Mallory, who's a really highly regarded tight end out of Miami. Him and Breven Jordan. I thought he was going to be better than that. He's only a 58. We got Jean-Ray Thomas from Georgia Tech. He's a great return man, though. I feel like we might have something there for putting him on kick returns. So there's some ability there. We got Mike Rose from Iowa State, middle linebacker depth. And then Max Borghi, the receiving back from Washington State, scheme fit. You have an opportunity to come in and be our third running back on the roster. As we get into year 4 of the Colts Realistic Rebuild changes, well, we already broke down the dev trade boost, which were huge. We brought in Connor Williams in free agency, slide him over to left tackle. It's an immediate upgrade over what we had in Costanzo, even though he's not a scheme fit like most of the offensive line is, and he's not a star dev trade. Hopefully we can get that this season. I think we actually saw 1 point regression in Ebron. I got him up to an 88 last year. Now he's back down to an 87, which is always very worrying. Defensively, we got Zach Harrison, our first round pick. He's actually going to be starting at defensive end. Sasha hopefully gets some snaps too to unlock that dev trait and figure out what's going on there. Makumu as well. Leonard, the freak, is now a superstar X Factor. Brought in Blake Cashman in free agency. We're actually going to make him our money linebacker too. I think his skill set suits that, as well as money linebackers get better stats, and hopefully that could translate to him getting at least a star dev trade and really can have and see his development take off here. But we definitely want to bounce back here after failing to make the playoffs last season. I mean, there was silver lining. We got 2 superstar X Factors, which is awesome, and Campbell's very close. If he gets another 16 touchdowns this season, I would assume he's going to be an X Factor as well. So let's put all that together and get some wins on the field. I know from the bye, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know why we're not putting it together here. At least no one's kind of running away with the division, which is good. Jags are only 2 wins ahead. We can get a nice little streak going here. We can pull it together. But I like just starting to negotiate contracts from the bye. So we got right off the rip, Parris Campbell. Pretty much we want to pay him whatever he wants because he is outstanding. Ryan Kelly at center. He only wants a 2-year deal. That's fine for a center. I mean, you figure at the end of that 2 years, he's probably still going to be in the 80s. And center is, at least in the sim, the least important spot on the offensive line. They just don't give up sacks. So we'll get him locked up. Funchess actually has been okay. We have some good receive. He completes the whole thing. He's 28, 24 mil. Well, see if he takes this. If he doesn't take this, we might have to wait and see. And he does, so that's good. Oof. That's expensive. Okay, we'll save that one for last. Bobby Okereke. We'll like to bring him back. We don't really have much depth at outside linebacker. Rocky Sin at corner. Yes, sir. 3 years, 14 mil. That's not too bad. You got that star dev trait. Beyond that, I mean, looking at these guys, it's pretty much just our depth that we've been slowly building up. So we're probably fine there. Now we got Jacoby Brissett. Oh, that is a lot of money. We got away with this first cheap contract. He does not want to get cheaped out here. He's now an X Factor. I feel like he's earned the ability to at least get another big contract for us. So let's see if he'll take that. And he does. So we get Jacoby Brissett locked up on a 4-year, $93 million deal for our superstar X Factor quarterback. He better, I swear to God, start getting some wins. 1-3 is not a good start for an almost $100 million quarterback. But we will come back and make sure we can hammer out a long-term deal for Bobby Okereke. And let's see if we can turn around the season from 1-3. There we go, back in the playoffs at the end of year 4. I'm not going to lie, we had the division on lock. We lost 4 in a row. And then week 17, able to pick up a victory. 9-7 is our final record. Thank God the Redskins suck. Looking at Jacoby Brissett, again, top 10 quarterback. 4,100 yards, 36 touchdowns to 13 interceptions for our 84 overall superstar X Factor. Running the ball, Naheem Hines actually also got a dev trade boost. He had a scenario pop up, so that is helpful. Puka Williams, 9 touchdowns. It's a healthy combination right now. On the receiving front, Parris Campbell, another outstanding season. Didn't get X Factor yet. That comes at the end of the season, but hopefully he does. That's another good, strong season. Funchess was okay. That's about, what we paid for him. I'll take 50 yards a game, 8 touchdowns. Ebron was solid. Ruggs was solid. Naheem Hines, very good combined effort. Blake Cashman, our free agency signing, 114 tackles, 9 TFLs, a sack and a half, 2 picks. I like it. 12.5 sacks for Darius Leonard, 6 and 11 TFLs from Zach Harrison. Tyquan Lewis, solid year. Okereke's the only guy that we couldn't extend. He wanted to hit free agency. I'm going to weigh giving him the franchise tag this season. I don't know yet. I'll see what our salary cap is because I really do want to hammer out a long-term deal. Quincy Wilson, 3 picks. Man, he has definitely benefited moving to strong safety. So if you ever play with the Colts, I mean, they're probably going to be a popular team that you guys want to try to choose now. If there's no Andrew Luck, move Quincy Wilson right away to strong safety. I wish I did that sooner than later. Yearly awards, MVP went to Saquon Barkley. Brissett didn't even make the short list. AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Baker Mayfield. Jacoby Brissett at number 9. Defensive Player of the Year went to Myles Garrett. Blake Cashman at number 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Wan'Dale Robinson to the Houston Texans. Max Borghi, our 3rd running back, coming in at number 4. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Dax Hill, very talented safety from Michigan. Zach Harrison coming in at number 5. So we had some, in soft shirt number 10, we had some nice individual performances. We snuck into the playoffs. That's exactly what I want to see as we walk in at Lucas Oil Stadium at home, taking on Patrick Mahomes and the 10-6 Kansas City Chiefs. Because it's only year 4 of 15, I'm going to Papa Bear this one, which means we'll mostly let the sim do its thing, see if we can get the job done. We'll step in if it looks a little cheesy. But I'll tell you right now, if we win this game, I will control the divisional round game. I will try to get us into a championship. If the computer, the team we built, can get the job done here today, which is not looking so great. Our offense, very cold right now, but we get a nice little touchdown before half. Defense is getting some stance. Look at this. Clutch. We have all the momentum going into the second half. They really want me to take over with Jacoby Brissett. 21-10 lead into the 4th quarter, and our offense has gone just, mind-numbingly cold. But there we go. Defense gonna get a nice little turnover there. 3rd down, we're coming in, because this is gonna be some nonsense where they get a field goal, and then somehow the Chiefs come back to smoke us. Now, the last time we came in, if you don't remember, it was against the Jags. It was a sack, fumble, turnover, so hopefully do a little bit better than that. We got Campbell in the slot. That's where we want to go. Or we just chuck it up. Funches makes a one-handed grab in the back of the end zone. Colt fans go wild as that pretty much secures a divisional round berth where I promise I'm going to hop in. We're going to control that game. We're going to try to get this team into the championship. 291 yards, 4 touchdowns on the day for Jacoby Brissett, out-dueling Patrick Mahomes as we move on to the next round. Oh, we got it. We got it. Parris Campbell, so damn quick. Takes that ball up to the 2-yard line. Now, I'm already telling you. I've told this in the Colts rebuild that we did before. Nyheim Hines is right now in the early stages of this Madden game. Probably the most overpowered running back. He's not even in. We got Puka Williams, the home run hitter, 95 acceleration. Pretty much the perfect C4 special back because he's just so damn explosive. Opening drive touchdown. But throughout that, Nyheim Hines makes play after play. He might be my favorite underrated running back in Madden 20 so far. Oh, he's gone. He's too quick. On the slants, I mean, that's all he ran at Ohio State. It works in Madden. Parris Campbell is phenomenal. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he gets that X factor this offseason. Let's go slants again, man. In the red zone, Nyheim Hines doing his damn thing. Brissett is in his X factor. That's pump fake. It's wide open, man. Oh, my goodness. It's not even Madden cheese because this is what he does. This is what Parris Campbell does. Oh, how wide open. Breaking. I mean, this is the Broncos defense. They still got Chris Harris out there. He got like 87 speed at this point. But my God. Parris Campbell. All Madden. Don't matter. He's all Madden. He's all Madden slants. I mean, it's probably enough that we could sim this one out, fellas. I said we're going to play. I think we did our job. We came in. We could dust our hands off. And as this computer chokes this lead out, I am going to be, oh my God, I'm fucking frustrated. All right. Put this one away. We got a 59-yarder from Jake Elliott. We got 11 miles per hour wind. This is a gimme. This is a gimme for Jake Elliott, man. He got a cannon of a leg. That should wrap this one up. Thank God we came in. Look, they would have choked that 28-point. Oh. Well, we'll take it. We're moving on to the championship game. We'll probably just pop a bear it the rest of the way. We want to let the sim do its thing. But that was a productive game, man. And my God, Jacoby Brissett and Parris Campbell on those slants. Uncoverable. Absolutely uncoverable. I don't know why the computer got away from that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Jacoby Brissett, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Out-dueling Drew Lock. Almost 200 yards on the day from Parris Campbell as the Colts head to the AFC Championship game. And better, I mean, either way, we're going to get a banner right in that rafter. Get those AFC finalist banner. Worst case scenario. All right, we got the championship game. It's the Jets. If this isn't viewed as a winnable game for the sim, I don't know what is. Like, there's not a better team to try to smoke than the Jets. Darnold, not great in the sim. So there we go. We get the first touchdown of the game. Jets able to counter in the second half, or second quarter. We're doing good, though. We are playing very well. This is a team poised for a Super Bowl run. Come on, we got Jacoby Brissett. who usually wins the MVP with the Saints. We've yet to get that MVP, but I will take a Super Bowl in year 4 over the lack of MVPs. You know what I'm saying? We still got him at an X Factor. He's playing very well right now. 34-13. We pretty much can coast, hopefully injury-free, into the Super Bowl. Whoever we take on, it's, let's be honest, probably like the Rams or someone super annoying. But we didn't close that one out very well. Let's be completely honest with this. We should have shut them out, but good performance for Jacoby Brissett. 360 yards, 4 touchdowns, over 100 yards on the day for Nyheim Hines. Same with Funches, 10 catches, 100 yards. Good performance from Darnold. Maybe didn't want to crap on him too much. He played very well, but too little too late as we await the winner of the Vikings and the Cardinals. Let's be honest, it's probably going to be the Cardinals because the Vikings only know how to choke in the NFC Championship game. So, hey, either way, Brissett versus Cousins, Brissett versus Kyler Murray. I like it. I like our odds. Okay, we're taking on the Cardinals, 3rd and 3. I'm getting ready to do my slant cheese right. Look, they got Von Miller and J.J. Watt. Ha. Cool. That's realistic. Realistic rebuild of the Cardinals over here. Oh, he's too quick. He is just half Parris Campbell. He's Odell. Odell 90% of the time just runs across the middle field and just burns past everyone. That's what we're doing. Parris Campbell, opening tutty in the Super Bowl. Suck it, J.J. Watt and Von Miller. Oh, he's gone. See? They spend the money on Von Miller, J.J. We've been spending our money on Quentin Nelson, Braden Smith, building up this O-line to be ridiculous, and they create holes like that. Nyheim Hines will take it 50 yards all the damn day. 14-0 Colts. Oh, Ebron. Oh, is it winner? Because Ebron but a set of wheels here. But a set of snow tires, 83 yards. All right, let's put this one away. I almost feel like we could sim this one out if we get a touchdown here before the end of the half. What do we got? Who wants it? Borghi? Max Borghi at a Washington State out the backfield. He cannot be denied. Jordan Hicks tried, but you can't stop. You can't stop a little bit of a mini Peyton Hillis that we got going on over here. 28-zip. Kyler Murray can't do anything with this offense. Let's see if we can sim this one out. Oh, my God. We're going to choke it, aren't we? No, we're not. I take that back. We got Frank Reich as our head coach. Frank Reich actually is an awesome head coach. I miss him dearly in Philadelphia. And it only took us 4 years since Andrew Luck shockingly announced his retirement to still keep on that trajectory to win a Super Bowl for the Colts. We still got 11 more years to go to try and make this team into an utter dynasty, try to take over for the Patriots. But Jacoby Brissett, we already knew he was money. But to see it actually happen, not just behind the scenes, him going to the Saints, you don't really know what's going on, but actually see the maturity and the growth and the development of everyone we have on this squad to get a Super Bowl already. It's just the beginning. He's only 30. He's 29, turning 30 for Jacoby Brissett. We still got at least 5 years of strong play. You don't lose a dev trait. You don't lose dev traits in Madden 20, so we got 5 more years at minimum of superstar X Factor ability from Jacoby Brissett. His combination with Parris Campbell is absolutely absurd. We saw Eric Ebron. He's the veteran. He's the guy that talked to me during the bye week about resting, the old guy. He had wheels, 83 yards, outrunning all the safeties and linebackers on the Cardinals. This team is poised for another run. It might not be next year. I'm not going to guarantee we're going to make a dynasty right away. We're going to go back to back. But you have a Super Bowl MVP type guy in Jacoby Brissett. You got all this team that's still generally in their prime, if not about to enter their prime. A awesome offensive line that just dominated J.J. Watt, dominated Von Miller. You're going to win a lot more football games. So I'm excited. We still got 1 more year to this video for part 1 of the realistic rebuild of the Colts. But at least we got, in the first 5 years, a Super Bowl win. And you better believe we're going to try our darndest to get another one. This is probably like a scenario where they probably would give Andrew Luck a ring, I feel like. I don't know. But there you go, Colt fans. Soak that in. That image right there, soak that in while you're trying to get past Andrew Luck's surprise retirement. Let's get into year 5. This is our last draft class that has real prospects in it, so let's try and make the most of it. We didn't spend any money in free agency because we had a franchise tag Bobby Okereke, who, spoiler alert, got up to a superstar dev trait, but that was $13 million. If you watch Last Chance U, there's DJ Ugalele. Cool name, but, or not Last Chance U, QB1. He was on that 2 years ago. Very legit quarterback, but we don't. I mean, we honestly could draft him if we really wanted to make sure we had that pipeline behind Brissett, but we just won the Super Bowl. I don't think that now is the time to do that, but I mean, we could if there's literally no one else there. When you look at the rest of our team, we still got top options at running back, even though we don't need it. We could maybe look at a wide receiver. There's not much there, honestly, for us in terms of I want to get at least a guy that's a fit. But for needs, literally our team, we only need a kicker. We're gonna look at Caden Davis. He's probably gonna be one of our targets in the 6th round. Other than that, our team is stacked. Like there's nothing that we really need right off the rip. So off the top of my head, we could. I mean, I don't know, fellas. Like honestly, we could straight up get Ukulele. I'm probably butchering that. Ayugalele. We could probably get him. He's probably unreal. Let's do it, man. Why not? Why? No, maybe not. Because I feel like we want to say that for a rebuild. We actually need a quarterback at this point. All right, so we'll go wide receiver. Trajan Bridges. Sure, we'll go with you. You're the best wide receiver on the 71. We'll take that. We'll take a 70+ overall player, 90 speed. Okay, he's just a well-rounded wide receiver. Looking at how the draft turned out here as we get into year 5. So we got Trajan Bridges right off the rip from Oklahoma. Pick 32 because we had the luxury of picking a pick 32 because we're the Super Bowl champs, baby. And he was just 71 normal. 2nd round, we just got depth at center. Ryan Kelly is starting to get up there in age a little bit. So we got Miles Morale. I think he was the 2nd best center in the class. 68 overall. That's actually like a great rating. I'll take that. He should be like just developing. Probably get up into the 70s. For 3rd round, we got Roger Rosengarten, right tackle from Washington, 67 overall with a hidden dev trait. So at 6'7", that's great length. Pretty much, is exclusive to tackle. But I think he's going to be a playmaker that, nice swing tackle in case of injury. We should be able to develop him nicely. 4th round, we got RJ Mickens from Clemson, scheme fit. Just depth right now behind Malik Hooker. Then pretty much just fill the draft. Just go in depth. We got Jones Bell from Alabama, Caden Johnson from Minnesota, and then we got Caden Davis at kicker, top kicker in the class from Texas A&M, 69 overall. I didn't even see what his kick power and stuff was. I just saw the rating. 86 kick power, 71 accuracy. I can work with that. I can absolutely work that. So let's go year 5. Try and repeat as Super Bowl champs. Year 5, the final year for part 1, and our team looking to defend our Super Bowl title. 85 overall, 91 offense, 85 defense. As far as changes, let's see. Nothing. No changes at all. Everything is exact. Oh, it would have been nice to get Parris Campbell, Superstar X Factor. I have seen him in the last Colts rebuild. He got up to a Superstar X Factor, just couldn't get it done. Maybe we still got some time. Zach Harrison, however, is up to a Superstar Dev trait, which is great for the former first round pick for us. Okereke, who we had a franchise tag, is also bumped up to a superstar. Cashman went from a normal to a star as well. So we're getting some guys on the defensive side that are playing very, very well. Cool. Cool. Let's defend this. Let's defend this crown. Now for the bye week, we are 6-3, which has us at top of the AFC South. Looks like a fairly competitive South. Looks like the Jags are right on our tail. So let's look at contracts here. So right at the bat, Malik Hooker, that's a very affordable deal. Safety contracts in this game aren't too ridiculous, so that's good that we can get him locked up. Ebron, will wait and see. Kenny Moore's 28. I love the fact, even though it's expensive, that corners only want 1-year deals. So we'll see if we can get the Valdosta State product Kenny Moore. He wants more money, longer duration. We can probably work around that. Henry Ruggs, 85 star dev. Definitely expect him to have a breakout season sooner than later. Ben Bredesen, we're investing on the offensive line. It is paramount that we keep and continue to lock in our offensive linemen to long-term deals. Bobby Okereke, superstar player, playing on the tag. We locked down a 3-year deal. Beautiful. Quincy Wilson, another safety. Let's see if we can get our safety tandem locked up for the next 3 years between Quincy Wilson and Malik Hooker, which we do. What else? So we got Eric Ebron. We do not have his replacement, but he wants a 4-year deal, and he is old. I'm going to wait and see what his stats look like. We'll wait and see with Eric Ebron. We have Kamoko Toure, 81. He just hasn't really developed. He hasn't got a lot of sacks. He still has a normal dev trait, so we'll wait and see with him. Tyquan Lewis, again, in the middle. We have depth now between Sofshire and Fedarian Mathis. That is not a bad deal. 1 year, $4 million. We'll wait till the end of the season on that. Other than that, man, I threw Jacob Brissett, 73 star on the trade block. We have yet to get a single offer on him, which is kind of ridiculous. I'll take Kenneth Murray, though, on a 2-year, $2 million deal. We'll take that. There we go. I'm surprised maybe we haven't been. I'm going to see if I can try to flip Eason for something before we re-sign him. You do. When you're the defending champs, you get that first round bye. You get 12 wins in the season, another AFC South title, and your team is maybe the best in the National Football League. Looking at the stats, Jacoby Brissett, again, unreal. 4,200 yards, 39 touchdowns to 8 picks. Might have a chance. That might be MVP-like numbers. We'll double check. Almost 1,000 yards for Hines. We've yet, we're not really a team that runs the ball a whole lot. Receiving, we get 87 catches, 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Of course, Ebron would have a huge year when we don't have a contract offer out to him right now. Funches, 904, 909 for Parris Campbell, 605 for Henry Ruggs, and 550 and 5 from Nyheim Hines. On the defensive side, 103 tackles, 7 TFLs from Blake Cashman, 9 sacks for Leonard and Zach Harrison, 7 for Toure, 3 picks for Bobby Okereke, who we got that long-term deal with. So we played well. We played well on both sides of the ball. MVP went to Ezekiel Elliott. Whoa, he didn't even make the short list? Crazy. Did we get Coach of the Year? Frank Reich get it? Oh, of course not, because it's racist. AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Alan Bowman, with Jacoby Brissett coming in number 6. Defensive Player of the Year went to C.J. Mosley. We had no one. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Zach Charbonnet, the running back out of Michigan. We had, of course, no one. Frank, look at that. Shout out to Frank Gore Jr. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Capehart. Not super familiar with where he's from, maybe off the top of my head. These are guys that are getting ready to be true freshmen, mind you. So let's find out who we have good team success, good individual success, better team success than individual success, as we find out that to defend our crown, it all starts at home against the 11-5 Cleveland Browns. We'll spend some just quick XP there. Let's get it. Were you scared of the fact that Cleveland might have the most overpowered roster in this game? Absolutely not, because our roster is sick. We have Jacoby Brissett, and we are getting dominated. Oh my God. Come on, we're the champs. This is the Browns we're talking about. You put makeup on a turd, they're still a turd. You know what I'm saying? That's shots fired. Why can't we only get field goals right now? Come on. Our defense is kind of keeping us in this game, but our offense can't muster more than 6 points through 3 quarters. That's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic performance. Especially as the champs, the defending. At least we weren't one and done, but oh my God, look at that. 8 rushing yards. We could not run the ball. Had 0 balance to the offense. That's not how I want to end this. But we got a Super Bowl. Let's just keep riding the high from last year and act like this year didn't happen. We're now here at the offseason, the end of part 1 of the 3-part realistic rebuild of the Indianapolis Colts. As always, guys, because this is the first episode of kind of a new series, I always want your feedback to see if you guys, what can we fine tune? I mean, I already made a poll on YouTube, and you guys almost unanimously, I think it was like 70%, voted to do 3 5-year rebuild videos. But if there's anything else we can do to stand out, maybe make it more different than what you currently get on like the standard rebuilds that we do every Saturday, I'm all ears. I don't really necessarily know what else we could do different, and it definitely does feel different. We have to be a lot more conscious. We have to be a lot more realistic, to be honest with you, and I like it. I feel like it's a good mix between what kind of content we already have on the channel, but again, I'm always looking for feedback, and we will try our best. So to kick off the next episode, do we have at least any new dev traits, any new X factors? Let's see. Nyheim Hines is up to a superstar. That's new, right? I think that's new anyways. Is it? Did he just get this not too long ago? Maybe not. Maybe he already had that. I feel like he didn't have that when we started this season. Nothing new on the offense. On the defensive side, Bobby Okereke's up to an X factor. Malik Hooker's up to a superstar. Okay. I see you. We're getting some performance here. We're getting some development and growth on the defensive side as we get ready to kick it for another 5 years. What day is it? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Probably come out Tuesday or Wednesday, somewhere in that time. So hopefully at least this one Super Bowl win with Jacoby Brissett takes some of those Colt fans off the ledge just a little bit. Everything may just be fine with Andrew Luck decidingly surprisingly retire. But hope you guys did enjoy this. It's a new series, so I will say 2,000 likes. That's a great starting point to say that you guys are digging this. Smash that like button. Subscribe if it's your first time stopping by. We're almost at 110,000. That'd be pretty cool to hit that sooner than later. And until next time, guys, it's C4 saying peace out, and we'll be back not too long to get another 5 years with these Colts.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit when you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not never. Not me, not never. Not me, I never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid.